Welcome to video number 3. We're going to be discussing something that just came out in the news, and I feel like this is another planted puff piece from Meghan Markle, like it just never stops. So let's jump in and cover it, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start this out. For those of you who don't know about this, there was a building, it was called the Grenfell Tower in London. In June of 2017, it caught fire. 72 people were killed. It was terrible. The Queen and Prince William visited on June 16th, speaking with survivors and acting as heads of the nation. And it was terrible. They said the monarch's visit was wonderful because they were there to provide comfort and to let them know that people cared. The Queen and William not only saw the devastation, but they saw the way that people were coming together to help each other. She met not only the survivors, but she met a lot of the emergency services personnel, the ambulance drivers, the fire department. She went inside the area where they were collecting things for, survivors, clothing, food, because there were a lot of immediate needs for these people. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole thing of what happened with the building, that it was a code violation, I'm just not even going to go there because that's a political thing, and I don't like to be political, but I love the way William and the Queen went there. And I love the way the Queen took an absolute active interest in everything that was going on there. She didn't have to go. She could have just sent a message, but she felt as monarch that it was important for her to be seen. She thought it was important to be a part of it, and I completely agree with her decision to go down there. William contributed with a guest appearance on 2 episodes of a show by BBC called DIY SOS Grenfell. And this show was where you saw volunteer construction workers and architects and everybody build a new gym for the Dale Youth Boxing Club. The old gym was in the tower. And also they did a new community center because, as William said, this could have been my family in that tower. And of course, it didn't take long until the Grenfell Community Center had been completely rebuilt and was open for business. And it looked like a fabulous structure that's still being used as far as I know. You also know that William and Catherine for several years in a row joined family members and survivors of the tower. What they would do is go to the base of the tower. There would be 72 seconds of silence and then a 2-mile walk around the area. Lots of floral tributes and personal notes were left beside the wall. And a lot of mourners wore green because apparently green is the color that has come to symbolize the tragedy of this through the years. Now, the idea behind the cookbook was to raise money for the Hub Community Kitchen. Now, the Hub Community Kitchen was founded by the volunteers and survivors. This is where they got together to cook and talk after the fire. Now, when the book launched, the pre-sales had pushed the book to the top of Amazon's bestseller list, and the book was sponsored by the Royal Foundation. At the time, the Royal Foundation was William, Harry, Catherine, and Meghan, and all of the recipes in it were from Grenfell Tower survivors. One of the things that really irritates me is they started calling it Meghan's Grenfell recipe cookbook. It wasn't Meghan's. It was put together by the Royal Foundation. She went out and cooked with them a few times, but it wasn't her book. They weren't her recipes. It wasn't her idea or her kitchen. So we all remember there was a launch. Meghan invited Doria. They went in for the launch, and she was trying to control Harry even then. There's a video, as you're about to see. Harry leans forward to say hello. There was no hugging allowed. And Meghan grabbed his arm because Meghan didn't like other women touching Harry. If the woman was uncomfortable, then the woman could have said no, Harry. But obviously the woman was participating. I didn't like the fact when they were showing this that Meghan's hair was constantly hanging in the food. She constantly had her hands in her hair. And then at one point, Meghan was talking, and God forbid, her mother said something, and she got the look of death from Meghan. So Meghan gave a speech, and that was the launch of the cookbook, and they made several dishes that were in the cookbook. Not Meghan, other women did, and they served them there, and it was a good start. And again, this was put up by the Royal Foundation. So this is what bugs me. The Royal Foundation 2023 report has been released, and it shows the impact Meghan Markle had before she left the firm. What it shows, the 44-page document shows that Meghan's charity cookbook that she launched in 2018 to raise funds for the families affected by the fire made a sales income of over £84,000. So the figures they're saying show the financial impact of her cookbook, titled Together, Our Community Cookbook. And that was more the Royal Foundation raised for mental health and emergency responder programs and funds more grants than the early years and emergency responders. Of course, Prince William's Earthshot Prize brought in more than $1.2 million, and his homelessness project brought in just a little bit shy of £1.6 million. So I don't understand why people keep saying this was Meghan's. It was not Meghan's kitchen. It was not Meghan's recipes. It was the Royal Foundation that sponsored the book. Meghan needed something to do. Meghan has always professed to be a foodie, so therefore they let Meghan write the foreword in the book. That was her contribution. She went and cooked a few times with them, and then did the forward in the book, and of course now she's taking full credit. We know that's what she does. We all know that even if Meghan Markle hadn't married into the royal family, since the Royal Foundation is the one who brought the cookbook to fruition, the cookbook still would have come out, but somebody else would have written the foreword on it. This is just typical Meghan Markle. Somebody else's ideas, somebody else's recipes, somebody else puts the book together. They ask her to write the foreword in the book. She goes there and cooks a couple meals, and suddenly it's hers. Her idea, her cookbook, her everything. If I were one of those, survivors, I'd be irritated. All right, you guys know what to do. Hit the like and the subscribe button, then go down into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, which is currently paused, my Amazon wish list, a physical address in case there's something you want to send. And to those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.